All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me again. Once again, I've been gone for quite a long time. I'm gonna a lot of personal stuff going on over here with me on my end with my family and stuff. Some heavy duty stuff I'm gonna have to take care of. Just what we're looking at here on the video is I'm already planning my next project, and I've got two perfect candidates. Pretty much when I'm done with the Freightliner here, which will probably be in about 25 years from now, I'll go ahead and I'll shoot some videos on what we're looking at and give you an idea and discuss parts and options, and kind of like we always do before we start some new projects. Unfortunately, because what's going on right now with my family, I'll talk a little bit about it because it may help some of you guys out there, but it might help me just to talk about it. And I know a lot of people have gone through this, are going through this, and are going to go through this. It's just part of life. But anyways, also we got a new sound system finally, a new microphone. One of these fancy lapel things you clip onto your collar, and that's what I'm talking through right now. It gives me a lot more freedom of mobility, and I kind of look kind of cool. But what really looks kind of cool is our Freightliner. I wasn't going to shoot this video. We were going to do a finale, but I haven't walked into my shop and sat down at this workbench since the last time I shot that video, just to give you an idea what we're going through. But anyways, let's go ahead and just cover some little things we have done to the Freightliner. As you can see, we went ahead and attached our actual metal see-through grill. We put, the Freightliner emblem. We put our running lights up on top, our horn. We drilled out the front of the horn so it would appear more like a horn should look. Of course, our front round headlights. Remember, on this particular model, what I had to do was I had to not only lower the headlight, but also push it out, I think. Plus, it had the two headlights set up. I had to convert it to one on each side. Before we go on, I want to thank the following new subscribers. I want to thank Will Wass, Jerry Ventura, Jerry Venture. I'm sorry, I may have misspelled that. Didier Trottier. That name sounds interesting. That may be a bot. But anyways, and Mark Zarecki. want to thank those 4 new subscribers for checking out my channel. Hopefully you guys have stuck around. I was not intending to shoot this video. I'm kind of cleaning up the workbench, testing out the little microphone, trying to light a fire under my ass so I can get back to doing this. I think the way it's going is well, we'll just build as long as we can build, and if I have to stop it totally, then I'll stop it. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Do you guys remember that I sanded the inside of the walls of this cab so I could push the windshield more further out without having that very noticeable ledge? Well, the ledge is still there, but it's not as noticeable. I'm really glad I did that. Where it is noticeable is a little bit here where I couldn't reach with the sander, because I did that once the cab was assembled, just kind of like an experiment. I was goofing around. So there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and so there's the plastic AMT bumper I was going to use, front bumper, and then I decided to go ahead and fabricate one out of metal instead. These are different prototypes or examples or test runs I did. The one that I did come close to doing was this one. It's just a little bit too off in the measurements, so I got to redo it, bring it more to prototype scale. And but they just really look good when they're made out of metal. So we're gonna definitely go with the metal. Believe it or not, making a metal bumper, making this particular one here, whew, that's a good half a day's work. And careful measurements. I got to set up all my little bending stuff and shears and brakes and stuff to work in miniature. I have finally figured that out, how to do it, so I can actually go in there and I'll make, unlike this, which I wasn't aware how to do it back then. I have since come up with a method where I tested it out. It works great. So I'll be able to re-bend a new bumper. And I'll let you guys in on the secrets when we get to it. And just to show everybody out there in YouTube land, we pretty much made a determination beginning of this build with this Freightliner dump truck kit here that we were gonna, instead of using brass parts like I always do, we're gonna use what we would have used in brass. We were gonna use a lacquer thinner metal gallon can that you get at Home Depot. We cut them up. We talked about it in many videos way at the beginning. And that's what this front bumper is. Not just the front bumper. This is your visor from AMT that goes on the front of your cab right there. But I wanted to have the look. Let's come back over here. Oops, the camera moved on me. I wanted to have the look of real metal. So that's the one we're going to actually put on there. However it goes. So this was my test run actually, and you can see some grooves where it was just scrap metal. I had a sheet of aluminum. This is actually aluminum. This is not the lacquer thinner gallon can. But this fit perfect the first try, and I cleaned it up and I said, you know what, I'm going to use it. I like those grooves and banged up kind of right there. Let's get you guys in focus. There we go. So we'll keep it. But I did cut out another pattern because I was going to redo it so it could be nice and clean. We may still do that, but that's how it looks when you cut out the rough pattern. And then you go in there and you start measuring. You're getting your precise measurements and stuff and bends. It's actually a lot of fun. And to you brand new subscribers or just anyone who's looking, I I love to build models, love to scratch build models, any type of models. I just love doing it. But I like to work with metal mainly, and I like to reinforce what I see as maybe potential weak spots, or where I want some hard points where I can pick up the model or fix, just it gives me a chance to crack open an AMT model, build it, purchase it in the first place, but customize it to my taste, do a lot of problem solving, sit down with drawings, measurements, got to look online for the real prototype. Just sometimes I refer to drawings and blueprints and stuff like that. That's the part of the hobby that I enjoy. If you guys kind of like the way that sounds and wouldn't mind following, stick around or watch some of my previous videos. I'm sure you're going to find them enjoyable if that's your thing. Otherwise, you're probably going to think I'm some sort of nut job. But anyways, all right, what we have here, is these rubber, I guess like fender strips that you add on to the wheel well. And they're usually rubber in real life. And in this particular case, they're styrene painted in nice weathered black. This little green, this is actually metal. This is an actual, this little part will go right there. It'll get glued on once everything's finally set, because you can see my working metal hinges here. I got to have access to those, and that's where the license plates that the Freightliners would have, and when you tilt the cab, that plate would like swing forward. That's what that is right there. It's actually a piece of metal. Okay, and once again, this is, I think this is quarter round, if I recall correctly. Get some light on the subject here. Let's do like this. Almost had it, huh? So that's just quarter round. You find it at any styrene. You find it at any hobby store. It looks a little different because I actually went in with a razor blade and I cut off parts of the back of it. So it's quarter round that has been cut down and modified a little bit further. But these will go right there. Just simply glued on. No big deal. What I do want to share with you guys is on for the windshield wipers on my Freightliner. I'm gonna refer to one of, I think it was Dave. Dave Parsley had a video a few months ago actually on how he makes his windshield wipers, the arms and stuff. So I liked it, and I'm going to use his method or his technique if he doesn't mind. And I understand Dave Parsley is, I think he got a Mobius F100, a Ford F100 kit, and I can't wait to see what he does with that. Those are great kits. Robert over at B&R Northern Horse Journey also did a windshield wiper video a few months ago also. So I'm actually going to dig up both those videos and study them here off YouTube and use Dave and Robert's techniques for windshield wipers for my Freightliner dump truck kit. One thing that I did not like on the AMT Freightliner is you have these two handles. Well, since we're here, those are two handles. And they go on the front of the Freightliner, right here on each side, one on the left, one on the right. They go across here, and what Tom Klein told me is that's how you grab those handles and you help pull the cab forward, or I guess put it back down. And you need those handles, apparently he said, otherwise the thing will run away from you, which makes perfect sense. But I didn't like the plastic ones from AMT. They're too humongous and crude looking. And I was just going to use bent wire, but that would be crude looking too, even though it wouldn't be humongous looking. So by accident, digging into my model railroad stash, these are hand grabs off of an old scale boxcar kit, wooden boxcar kits they used to sell many years ago. This is white metal castings. The castings were rough with a lot of flash. They're actually very, very old. I think they're from the late 60s. So I cleaned them up really nice. I polished them. They came out fantastic. These look fantastic, and these are metal, and they're to scale. So I'm actually going to use those for the front of the Freightliner, and the windshield wiper arm goes just behind those. So I got to do my windshield wiper arm first, install it, then put this slightly over it. So also what I want to share with you guys is this. Now, okay, this is this. I knew I was going to have to do something with the mirrors. Usually mirrors on any type of truck kit is the bane of my existence. I usually get rid of them, and I do them out of metal, or portions of them out of metal. It's just it's something I always have to work on, because I'm just not satisfied. What's the point in building your model and making a masterpiece when it's all said and done, and right at the end, like two ugly earrings made out of a potato, you hang these mirrors off of there, and they're distracting, because to me they don't look good. Everyone's different, but it also gives me an excuse to go in there and make stuff out of metal, and that's what I'm going to do here. So what AMT gives you is kind of actually the wrong setup also, which this is what AMT gives you. I painted these. These are the kit provided. They come in chrome. I de-chromed them and I painted them in aluminum, white aluminum color. And they're styrene, so the mirror mounts, one goes on top, one goes on the bottom. The mirror kind of mounts in between, kind of like this. Right there. That was kind of crude, but you get the idea. And then that whole assembly is glued onto, one of those V things goes here, one of those V things goes down here. It also comes with another bracket, which is fine. We're going to use this. No big deal with that. It's actually kind of nice. With a turn signal light on the bottom, which I still have to paint in orange. So what I decided to do, and this is just an experiment, and I'll show you guys kind of real quick here, since we got you guys. What I noticed, I went on Google and I brought up a bunch of images, but a lot of the stuff I did to my Freightliner here, I modeled off of Landon Durant's consolidated Freightways Freightliner, which is identical to what we're building here. And I got his mirrors, his prototype mirrors, set up on his rig, and that's what I'm going to use to modify the AMT version here. So we're going to do, what happens is, remember, we just glued those mirrors straight onto the body like I showed you guys. Right there. But in reality, well, at least on Landon Durant and on the version we're building here, those V's don't go glued straight onto the body. They get glued onto a strip of metal first. In this particular case here, this is just for video purposes, the camera, so you guys could see it. But it would be a piece maybe about this long, 1/4 of an inch, and not as wide. It would be, I still have to cut that down. It was just a little strip of metal, And that gets the V's, or those parts from AMT I just showed you. Let's see if I could pull this off, guys. And those get glued on to there. And now you do one for the top, one for the bottom. You glue your mirror on there. And that little portion gets glued on. Where in reality, it gets bolted on. In our case, we're going to glue it on. Great idea, except I didn't want to use these plastic pieces. They just don't seem right. So what I'm going to do here is I actually got some aluminum tubing, this hollow tubing. See that? So we're going to make those V's out of aluminum just as they appear on the real AMTs. So I experimented and I had the finished product, but I guess I lost it here in the last few months that I haven't touched my workbench. So what I noticed on Landon Durant's, we're not just going to bend this into a V. Let me see if that came out on camera. Yeah, we're not just going to bend this into a V so it looks like the plastic setups. Why go through all that trouble just to take that shortcut? It's going to be two actual pieces that will be glued together at the tip, because what we want to do is we want to mimic the real feature of these aluminum tubing mirrors. Is we're going to exaggerate this, okay? This is a little bit bigger than what we should, but once again, I'm doing this so you could see it on the camera. We're going to smash one end of that aluminum tubing, just like we did right there, right? We'll straighten it out. I got a little bit crooked. And using our file, but in this case, our Dremel tool, because we're in a hurry. Okay, I would still have to clean this off with a file, but what I wanted to show you is, oh, camera. We rounded the edges. Normally there would be a hole right there, and then when you put these, we're gonna do two of these just like that, and then they'll join at that flat spot. Each one will have a flat spot, and then the prototype will have two holes through them and then a bolt, and that way you can open that V and close it. In our case, it'll be glued together. I guess I could add a little piece of something to represent a bolt. We'll see when we get there. But that's real piece of aluminum tubing. This piece, when we make the V, when we smash the other part, then we'll attach it to this strip here. Remember, we're only going to use a strip about that big right there and not as wide. We'll glue our mirror on there, and then that setup will go ahead and attach it right there. It'll look better to me in my eyes, but I don't know, better. I guess it's just in the eye of the beholder, but when I see something like that and I zero in on it with my eyes, it tells me that, hey, someone took some extra steps here. That's kind of cool. That's kind of what I mean. That's kind of what I like. So hopefully we'll get, I'm on vacation now. Actually, I took a month off of work. So I thought I was going to be retiring in about 4 years, 3.5 to 4 years. That may get pushed real fast and out of my control. Nothing wrong. Not that I did anything wrong at work. I don't want to leave like that, but it's just take care of some family issues. I may have to retire early and do some moves here. We're okay. My family's okay financially. You know, everything, insurance, medical, all that. We're fine. We'll weather the storm, but it's a storm everybody has to deal with. And well, then let me just say this. the sibling I was counting on, well, all the siblings were counting on, and I've seen this before. It's, you know, it can't all be about you and your fun and your good times, but okay, that's all I got to say. And you know what, man? I'll take care of my mom myself. You know what? I went down Mother's Day to visit my mom. I took her flowers, and I go there, and my mom's like a health nut, walks, always exercising and stuff. She's 84, I think now, or 85, gonna be 85. She's on a walker. I see my mom as I pull up to the house on a walker. I'm like, Mom. So that's kind of what I'm talking about here. And you know what, man? I'm gonna be taking care of my mom. And if it means I have to move in with her or have her move in with me, I will. And if it means I have to stop projects here and there, I will. But it's just, I have been so depressed. But I'll figure it out and I'll handle it. Thank you for joining me on this video. Like I said, I'm on vacation for a whole month. I got a lot of stuff to do. I got to clean up the house, maybe even clean up the shop. Start downsizing here just in case. But I want to have this project done. I'd like to start that other one. I'd like to run that other project by you guys, see what you guys have to think. Your input's always welcome. Tom Klein, I'd love to hear what you have to say. There's another truck I'm looking at modeling also on YouTube. It's on Bruce Wilson's channel, and it's an old Kenwood logging truck. So, well, a lot of fun, a lot of stuff to do. I got a month to goof around with. I'm going to definitely do a lot of work on this. I'm going to dedicate all of today on this guy here, and I'm going to shoot a YouTube short and post it sometime, probably like 1 or 2, probably like around 2 or 3 maybe, on this particular thing once I added all the stuff I just covered here. Thank you for joining me. You guys take care. You guys are awesome. Enjoy your beautiful summer. Check out everyone's YouTube channels. Check out all these amazing videos on YouTube and builders and new models, and just fantastic time to be in the hobby. Thank you for joining me in my little world here, and thank you for letting me vent. You guys take care.